Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
How's everything?
Everything is good, thank God.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just let the people know who I'm talking to.
Oh, this is Fina, Vice President of Red COHEN Promotions.
Okay. So now I want to get, we know it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of rumors and things of that nature. So I just want to get your take and let you clarify yourself, because I see that you was taking a lot of, criticism for something that you yourself didn't even do. Is that
right?
And I felt like you need the opportunity to clarify yourself.
Right. Well, I got a lot of criticism based on something I wrote on IG under one of my posts in regards to Jarrell. And what I said was that the backlash that he was getting from the media and the fans, I felt, was a lot more than any other fighter, like a Canelo or, Margarito or Fury, or, and I felt like the reason why he was getting this type of backlash was because he was an African-American fighter. And you take the word African-American, I'm not saying African, I'm not saying black, I'm saying African-American. Two different things. And then also, the type of backlash that I was getting in my inbox was, even on Twitter, and it was public, was that he should hang from the highest tree on a short rope. Now, you wouldn't say that to a Hispanic fighter or a white fighter, would you? So it was things that I was getting, but I've never been on this side of the fence, with a fighter that tested positive for anything. But also, I never heard lifetime ban thrown around with any other fighter either. So I'm taking all these things into consideration when I make the statement. But they took my statement and they turned it into saying that, he failed the drug test because he was African American. That's not what I said. So, but I felt as if, if you're going to treat this man, you're going to say, he needs a lifetime ban. Well, then give everybody a lifetime ban. Be fair across the board.
Right.
Don't just make an example out of my guy. Why do you want to make an example out of my guy? But then they don't want to support a race card.
Right.
Like that's just how I feel. And then, you look at the state of America, right, and how we're so divided now, right? Everybody's against one another, everybody's up in arms, and, we're doing this whole thing about prison reform. You got guys in jail, African-American prisoners that are in jail for 25 to life for the same crime a white guy did, and he's in there for 10 years. This is what I'm talking about. But people in the UK don't understand that mindset because it's a different. They have racism, but it's different. And this guy Spencer Fearon, I think his name is. He's a boxing analyst for Sky Sport. He came at me on Twitter, and he said, "Now, who are you to speak on race? You're a white woman, and, this, that, and this." I said, I said African American. So, yes, I am a white woman. I get that, but I also raised an African American child, and I have to have talks with my child about how to get stopped by the police, and how to put your hands on the dashboard, and how to keep them in plain view, and how to talk to the police when you get pulled over. I have to have these types of conversations. I have to explain to my child what the N-word meant when somebody called to her. There's a different type of racism over here. So that's what I was saying when, I was talking about the media and the backlash that he's getting. Because I've never been on this side. I'm sure Canelo, Margarito, Fury, I'm sure they all got backlash. But I felt like, everything had to do with race. Everything that, all the messages I was getting had to do with race, calling them the N-word, telling them to hang from a tree, like these sorts of things. So that's how I felt.
Right.
You know?
Do you think it came from because of the fact that it was reported that he failed so many tests or things of that nature that it got overblown.
Well, this was happening before that came out. You know, the first test I was getting these types of, you know, lifetime ban, this sort of thing. Like I'm like, what? You know, why? Why should he get a lifetime ban and nobody else does?
Right.
You know, I posted that picture before the other two substances even came out.
Right. I mean,
So,
it's you know, I think that, you know, do you think it was the situation? I looked at it and I thought that, you know, it might have had a lot to do with the fact that, you know, he was saying and accusing Anthony Joshua, and then, you know, he came out, you know.
Of course, you know, but in my personal opinion, and you know, you could say what you want. There's so many guys out here doing this stuff. I remember as a kid, you know, in the boxing gym, and I'm not going to name the trainer that did it, but it was a very well-known trainer, would take his fighters in the back room and shoot their asses with the fucking shit. You know what I mean? He'd take them in the back room and give them their shots. Like, I remember seeing that as a kid. You know, so this is not something new. This is these. It's just who gets caught, who's dumb enough to get caught, who's not on their cycle. You know, like, or you know, who's not doing it properly. I feel like this is a major reason why that they can't find an opponent.
Right.
You know,
right.
These guys are cycling. You know, a lot of fighters are on this shit. They just haven't been caught.
Right.
This is just what it is, and it's sad. It's fucked up. Like, it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to fight clean, and you know, have year-round testing. Like, just what Jarrell did was disgraceful. Absolutely. Like, I think it was 100% wrong, and he should definitely receive some type of punishment. 100%. You know, so. Like, do I have to protect my fighter? Yeah, in a sense I do, because he's gonna fight again, and I still have to represent him. I still have to work for him. You know, so I don't want bad blood between me and my fighter either.
Right.
You know,
and the fact that you have there's not too many managers, promoters, and you know, guys out there that truly have a love for their fighters, and I truly see that you truly have a connection with him. It's just not about boxing, and I think that people miss that.
Yeah, so I went through a really rough time in my life. You know, I was in an abusive relationship, and you know, Jarrell was around. You know, he saw things that, you know, he was like, yo, like, you need anything? Like, he was there for me through stuff, like as like a real friend. You know, so it just, you know, I owe that to him. I owe that to him. He was there for me. I had to be there for him. I had to step up, you know, because that's who I am. I'm a loyal person. I don't turn my back on people. We all go through shit in our life. We all make bad choices. You know, those without sin, please cast the first stone. It's easy to cast the first stone on social media. It's easy because nobody sees your truth. You know what I mean? We've all done stuff in our life. We've all done fucked up shit. You know, but who's going to own up to it? Nobody.
Right.
You know, but I give Jarrell credit for making that video and saying, you know what, I fucked up. He could have just gone into hiding. He could have just said nothing like Canelo.
Right.
You know, or just deny it flat out and say, oh, I didn't know. You know, it just, like, I give him credit for at least owning up to it, which a lot of guys won't even do.
And it's funny to me because I see that, you know, when Floyd Mayweather was talking about the issues with these things back when Manny Pacquiao, and everybody was giving him so much backlash and just was saying that he wanted to avoid the fight with Pacquiao. But now, today's time that, you know, a lot of this is coming out, you know, now everybody wants to castrate the fighters. But it was at a point in time when nobody even cared about it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like how could you, like, let's bring up the names that have done this shit. Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao, whoever. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know for a fact about Shane, but I know Pacquiao definitely did it. You know, I know Canelo did it. I mean, don't give me. Then they try to make up a whole story. He was eating some tainted meat. Come on, bruh. Give me a break.
Right.
You know, stop it. See, all these guys do this shit.
Right.
All of them, man. It's just who's going to get caught? Who's getting caught?
Right. I looked at the situation.
And
I
that's
know.
not an excuse, though, either. Let me just make that clear. That's not an excuse.
Right.
Like, they shouldn't be doing it, is the thing. Nobody's doing it.
Absolutely. I just look at the situation. He's never came out and said he did. You know, he originally he said that we get the same story from all the athletes. You know, I never willingly put anything in my system. You know, it becomes a generic answer for every time a fighter gets caught.
Like if somebody gives you a handful of pills or something, I'm not taking that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll do it myself. Give me the bottle, give me whatever it is. I'll take it myself.
Right.
You know, and then if it comes out positive, then I can say I didn't know because I'll give the bottles to whoever's testing whatever. But you know, I'm not taking just a handful of pills from somebody.
Right.
You know, who knows who's, you know, messing with my shit.
Right. And
especially when that kind of money's on the line. Like, you don't know who's loyal in your camp. They could be getting paid off by the other camp or something. I don't know. You know, I'm not doing that. As a fighter, when that type of money's on the line, Jarrell lost $10 million. Like, altogether package, $10 million. That's life-changing money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that he knew what he was doing, I will never have an explanation as to why he did what he did. I will never have an explanation. Like, if he just thought that, you know, they were that good and they could, you know, beat the test, I don't know. But I would never, ever risk that kind of money. Ever. I would go in there and get knocked out before I risk that kind of money.
And I think that, you know, everybody, you know, I think the whole situation with, you know, just his demeanor towards the fight and, you know, his approach towards Anthony Joshua, I think that's where, you know, all of the real backlash with this situation is coming in because, you know, he seems so confident. And then he, like I said, the irony in it was that he was, you know, claiming it was Anthony Joshua and then the tides turned, you know, but,
of course.
As you know, and I know that, you know, I saw a lot of, my whole reasoning for this was due to the fact I saw a lot of disrespect coming your way, you know, and I had conversations with you off the air, and you know, I know your passion with it, you know, and I know we don't like to look at women different in the sport of boxing and things of that nature, but you know, I just think it was a little overboard, you know. I know you of course every promoter, every manager are gonna defend their fighter.
Sure.
And when these types of things comes out, you know, it's not like, you know, he failed the test. You know, he couldn't hide it, you know, after a while.
Sure.
And he, like you said, he made the video. You know, I just you know, your daughter was receiving backlash. You know, I just thought it was across the line. It was a little it was too far. You know?
I'm sure that Eddie gets backlash. I'm sure that Oscar gets backlash, but the thing is that I'm not the promoter. I'm the VP of operations. I work for the promoter. Like, let's make that clear.
Right.
The fact that I was getting this backlash was because I was vocal about it. Greg he doesn't say anything. He doesn't make a statement. You know what I mean? He's very cut and dry. Like, you know, he'll say one thing, very simple. We back our fighter. That's it, and he'll keep it moving. Me, I get into it and I like defend and I go to bat and I go to war, and so that's why I get the backlash. But you know, some of the comments, you know, were just like you said, they're coming from my child. They're like, you know, it's just, you gotta have some thick skin, man, fucking with these boxing fans.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
You know, but I mean, the thing for me is that I do. You know, I do, and you know, when I see them, it's just like, you know, they'll never say it to your face.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went to 2 fights already after this stuff, and I was walking around free as a bird. Nobody said shit to me about it. So, you know, But most of the boxing fans I feel that were making the comments, a lot of them were from the UK.
Right.
So, but I mean, doesn't matter. They'll never. It's Twitter fingers. Like they hide behind their keyboard and they go to war.
Right.
And it doesn't. It's whatever.
And so where does he go from here?
Well, I mean, I'm not I don't know if I'm at liberty to say like what the plan is right now, but I can say that he will definitely fight again. Greg is, I worked for a lot of promoters in the past. I worked for Gary Shaw. I worked for Roy Jones Jr. I worked for Arena Boxing for a short time. But with Greg, he just has a way of getting his fighters into position. He's really good at it. He has good relationships, and that's kind of what boxing is all about. Like, you can have all the money in the world, like 50 Cent or Jay-Z, but if you don't have the relationships, it's kind of hard to move your fighters the way you want to move them. And Greg has really, really great relationships, hence why Big Baby, the guy that people really didn't know about, and they're saying that he didn't have any real merit to be in that fight, that's why he was in that fight, because of Greg's relationships. And he's just great at moving his fighters, so he'll get back. I say within 2 fights, he'll be back again. Truth to you,
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him fight within the next couple years, if
Right.
that long.
So you think it's looking like he may get like a 2-year ban or something?
I don't think he'll get a 2-year ban. I don't even think it'll be that long. But I'm not at liberty to say like what the plan is right now.
Okay. Yeah, so he blew it. That was a big opportunity, I was disappointed to say the least. And how was you feeling about it?
I mean, I was completely devastated. He blew for everybody. That's a life-changing moment for me as well. Like as a woman in this sport, I've been in the sport. I started boxing at 8 years old. And then I didn't get into the business side until I was about 22. I'm 35 now. So for me, that's the epitome of success. When you get to that point, that level, you're a fighter that you're representing is fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. If he won, that's life changing. Then all of a sudden
Right.
you're top dog.
Right.
So it's not only about money for me, but it's about status, right? It's about seeing your work, everything you've been through, as a woman too, right? Everybody said you can't do that. Oh, you're a boxing groupie. Oh, you're fucking this fighter. You're fucking this fighter. You're fucking this fighter. They talk so fucking bad about you, but then when it's that time and you get that moment, it's man, all is paid off.
Right.
All this paid off. I went through all of that for this moment, and so I feel like he stole that from me.
Right.
He stole that from me. And not only that, but we all get paid.
Right.
Everybody gets paid. Everybody eats. So you took food out of my kid's mouth.
Right.
So it's just to me, it was selfish. It was selfish. It was let me see if I can get away with this, but he's not taking everybody else into consideration.
Right.
So yeah, I was pissed. And it was just one of those things, there were 2 things I was scared of. 2 things leading up to the fight. This and him getting injured.
Right.
Those were the 2 things, and the fact that this happened was smack my damn head, man. But god damn, man.
Yeah, because it's his now everything he did leading up to this is tarnished, because now people are going to be
of
like,
course, this is ruin it for your entire career.
Right.
The fact that he got caught when he was kickboxing too,
Right.
it's come on, bro.
right.
Now you really look, I mean, are you still gonna be able to keep that punch output when you're not on the shit?
Right. And that's what I was leading to, because he was a unicorn. We never saw a guy 300 plus pounds throw that many punches in the round.
But one thing I can say, Andy Ruiz fights very similar to Jarrell.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now in the mix. But with his punch output, You know,
Right.
I don't think Andy Ruiz really has a shot with Joshua, but Jarrell, like, I really gave him a real shot, man. I think he had the style to beat Joshua. True.
And it's bringing a lot of questions to other fighters that throw a high output, you know,
Sure,
like Andy
sure.
Ruiz. Everybody's questioning Andy Ruiz, and there was questioning maybe the reason Ortiz didn't want to step in is because of the same similar,
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying is that, you know, they're having a hard time finding these opponents because these guys are fucking cycling, man. These guys are all on the shit. They can't pass a test.
Right.
They can't pass a test right now. You know, now, how far are we? 5 weeks now? Not even? You know, like 5 weeks?
Right.
You know, I don't know who they're going to get. I mean, I hope that, you know, I wanted Michael Hunter to go, even though, like, I don't know how well he would do. I wanted him to get the bag because his father and I were close, you know, when I was coming up in L.A., and, you know, his father was a master,
Right.
you know, so I knew Michael for a while. So, I just want to see him just get to the bag, but, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really have an explanation other than, like, why would you turn down that kind of money if you're not on the juice?
Right. And another thing I was thinking, I'm like, man, Jarrell might have an issue getting opponents because, you know, the spotlight is going to be on him with this situation, and everybody's going to want to scrape through with a fine-tooth comb, and that means his opponent is going to have to go through the same rigorous, the testing similar.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And if they're not clean, then they're not going to want to be in the ring with him because it puts a spotlight on them as well.
100%, and you'll probably have to pay them more.
Right.
You know, but you know, everything could get worked out. You know what I mean? But this is another thing. I feel like boxers should have a centralized commission.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to where the rules are the rules and the set rules, and it's not a New York jurisdiction or a, you know, California jurisdiction. It's like, you know, like you're in the NBA or the NFL or whatever. You know, it needs to be a centralized jurisdiction where there's one rule, one judge, one, you know, that's clear across the board, you know. But I mean, unfortunately, we don't have that.
Right.
And you know, it's just I don't think we'll ever have it. Truth to you.
Now, let me ask you before I let you go. The state of the women boxing. What's your thoughts?
I love
on it?
I love it. It's everything that I could have dreamed for women's boxing. I mean, yeah, we're not there yet, but you know, women are showing that they could do it and they could put on a real show. Like Melissa Hernandez fought the other night and she looked phenomenal. Like, she was as slick as James Toney, looked as comfortable, you know, just was really like putting on a real show. And I tweeted, you know, if you didn't watch The Zone and watch Melissa Hernandez, you missed a great night of boxing. Not women's boxing, but just boxing. And like, she just really showed her ass and did her thing, and I'm so proud of her, man. Clarissa Shields, like, obviously, like, she's phenomenal. You just gotta give it to these girls, man, because they, in my opinion, we work harder than the guys. You know, we have when women have to make weight, it takes a little more effort for us to make weight.
Right.
You know, we have extra fat, you know, we got boobs, but you know, we got everything in this, you know. We might have children we gotta watch or whatever, you know. It's and we get paid less.
Right.
You know, so it's I really give it to these girls, man, that are out here doing it and showing out and, like, you know, just fighting, man. They're doing their thing, and I love the fact that they're getting their shine right now. It's great. It's really great. You know.
Yeah.
If this would have been women's boxing around the time when I was trying to fight, I probably would have been fighting. I probably would have been on the business side, you know?
Right.
Because it's a beautiful thing what you're seeing right now.
And yeah, now I was. What do you think the fight with Clarissa Shields and Christina Hammer? That was a huge fight. Do you
Yeah,
think
it was a big fight, and she demolished her.
Right.
She demolished her, and you know what's crazy is that going into that fight, I was like, damn, Clarissa might have some problems because, like, I was watching Hammer and I was like, this girl can box. Like, she's long,
right?
You know, and she looks like she can punch a little bit. And she can really box. Clarissa just, you know, she blew my mind that night. I was like, okay.
Yeah, she put on a masterclass performance.
Yeah, this girl's true. Like, she sees red.
Right.
You know, she just sees red and she just goes for it, you know. She just got her eye on the prize the whole night.
Right.
And, yeah, she's a beast, man. I give it to her. She's a beast. She's not a two-time Olympic gold medalist for nothing.
Right. Right.
You
She
know?
definitely put on a show. What do you think it is going to take? You know, we had a fight of that magnitude. What do you think it's going to take for mainstream media and mainstream boxing to pay more close attention to women boxing?
You know, it's gotta also come from the promoters and the networks have to push it. But in a sense, and you know, I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth, right? But you know, in any sport, sex sells, right? And unfortunately for women in boxing, a lot of the women are, you know, it's not like a feminine sport, right? Like, and you look at tennis, Serena Williams, like, they're wearing skirts, and you know, they got these cut up bodies, and they look amazing, you know, and they're making all the money, you know. But women's boxing, it's sometimes it's hard to watch. Sometimes you got girls looking like little boys, and there's like, and same thing for the WNBA, right? These women get salaries of like, some of them get like what, $100,000 a year, something like that, like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
seriously.
It's
like,
next to nothing.
Yeah, like, I make more than that. You
right.
know? So it's like, I don't know. You know, French Sean Cruz makes some dope skirts, man. He makes some dope outfits, man. So get with French Sean and get you some glitter.
Right.
Get you some glittery skirts, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, I people always point to the fact that they say, well, because it's not a lot of knockouts in women's boxing, you know, but it's not a lot of knockouts in men's boxing.
Yeah, in men's boxing, I mean, you know, it's just like, if you watched Melissa's fight the other night, it was masterful.
Right.
It was so much fun to watch, and
right.
this girl was getting beat up from pillar to post. Like,
right.
She's, you know, it was so much fun to watch her. I thought she had the best fight of the night.
Right.
Dude, you know, I was more entertained watching her than any other fight.
Yeah, it always amazes me when people say that, because I always point to the fact that there's not a lot of knockouts in men's boxing.
True.
So, you know, when people say,
did you watch that boring ass fight with Robert Easter the other night?
Right, exactly.
I went to sleep.
Right, exactly. And there's a lot of fights like that.
Afraid to hit each other.
Right.
Like that. There was a thing, like they showed the scorecard. It looked more like a bowling scorecard. Like on the punches thrown per round, it like landed per round, like five. 8,
yeah, it was 5 punches
30.
landed around.
You know, like, come on, man.
Right.
It looked like y'all went bowling.
Exactly. And
did a bad job.
Right. And that's what I point to when I say that, you know, women's boxing should be looked at as on the same level as men's boxing, and you can't use knockouts for a reason not to put it on the same level.
Absolutely. You know, you just need superstars, man. That's what it takes. Like when Layla Ali fought, everybody tuned in. Even Mia St. John, you know, who's a really good friend of mine to this day.
Right.
You know, but she, you know, she did what she did.
Right.
And I respect her because it's a hustle.
Right.
And, you know, she's a beautiful woman and she uses her advantage, so good for her.
Right.
You know, and she made real money. She made real money. You know, she made money the men were making. You know, she made real money.
Right.
So God bless her, man. You know, she did what she had to do and she took advantage.
Absolutely. But thank you.
In this sport and risking your life, like, you know, take advantage.
It's funny you said that, because there's just, you know, there was just reports of Adonis Stevenson, and now he's walking around, he's talking, you know, he's making a miraculous comeback. And you know, the sport of boxing, we see every time you guys step through the ropes, you're putting your life on the line for our entertainment, and it should be rewarded.
Look at Richard Colon.
Right.
He's a vegetable.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I've seen 3 guys die in the ring.
Right.
You know, literally die. And it's, you know, if you don't play boxing, man. If you're gonna do this, take every advantage you can. I'm not saying take drugs.
Right.
But take every advantage you can. This is a lifestyle. It's in and out of the ring. What you do outside of the ring matters as well.
Right.
So, you know, you got to use every angle.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. I want you to tell the people where they can find you and you just tell a little bit about yourself before we check out.
Okay, yeah. You can find me on Instagram, Sarah, SARAH, Fina, FINA, _GCP, and it's the same for Twitter as well. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for giving me the time.
Absolutely.
And clarifying yourself and explaining yourself. I thank you very much. And I appreciate you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's been great talking to you.
Absolutely. I'll stay in touch.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love. Mwah.